John in the house. Welcome to my June Patreon update, everyone. Yay! June Patreon update. I'm exhausted. Seth's already stressed out because July 4th is coming and she is traumatized by the sound of fireworks. Today, I sent off my artwork to an international biennial, and it's a woman-themed, non-gender binary themed art show that is in 2 cities and seems to have really big and good artists. Oops, hold on. Too big. I'm gonna start again because I didn't start streaming. Good to know. I started just sending a signal, not. Okay, so. I gotta check if there's a signal. I don't see a camera. I mean, it does say, okay, there I go, there I go. There I go, again. Okay, so I don't want that page. The London Biennial page. So I got my Shufu series accepted to the London Biennial. My love is your love. June 12th to July 9th, but I wasn't notified until like right around my birthday. I was notified, and then I basically just kind of put it in a square file, you know, the junk drawer, and kind of like I couldn't deal with it because I was already like trying to OCD out on going to Kauai for my birthday, but then I decided to buy an SUV, which was an investment. All of this is like trying to change, you know, trying to up level my game in 2021. Now that I know that I have a certain disability, I can work towards bridging that gap and targeting those areas that I've been in denial of. And part of it is like committing to the creation of launching my new material, which is going to be called Sex, Love, and CPTSD. And I wasn't able to come up with new work until I knew that I had complex post-traumatic stress disorder, of course. So this all happened during October of 2020. And then just somehow I was like, within this goal, I'm like, I am going to just apply to 1 or 2 art shows, which is usually kind of what I do. And then I don't get in them, and then I get upset that I don't get in any art shows and my art career is going to shit. But I really only apply to 1 or 2 things, and then that, you know, is not enough for you to even complain about. But they just take so much out of me as, like, So you have to understand that I didn't understand that this was a thing that I had, that it's an actual mental brain disability, this overwhelm and anxiety kind of wave. So I was just trying to ride it through the end, finally, no matter how much it cost, how difficult it was. I wasn't going to give up. I was going to keep going. This is the feeling that I used to push through to get to Japan by myself. So it has become somewhat of a familiar feeling, like when I'm breaking through old childhood trauma or childhood limitations, like I can't do it. Like I want to just throw in the towel and be like, it's too hard, I can't do it, it's so fucking hard, right? I want to give up and be like, oh, it's so hard, I can't find the what did I have to find, the FCC ID number. So if you send electronics, like I was thinking in my mind, okay, I want to have this goddess installation with this goddess installation, hopefully I can get it. I'm gonna have my goddess installation with let's see, how can I show you all? How do I show this all? I'm gonna have my goddess installation with 4 images of the goddess at the bottom. Well, that's boring, so I'm gonna stay on that. I'm gonna have my shufu, which I sent off. So my finishing point was putting in a box, making sure that I had return postage. Like you, as an installation artist, if you're gonna have something set up, VCR, DVD even. This is running out of steam. Is there any light there? DVD? No. Yeah, there's no light coming out of that. So if you want to have a DVD installation projector, you have to send the projector. You have to send the DVD that plays in a loop. That, like, that part to really, like, I went from visualization to finishing point, and I did all of this stuff last minute, on top of the fact that I had to teach Japanese today for an hour and a half and take care of a crazy baby dog who, let's go to the baby dog camera, shall we? Where is it? Baby dog camera. Let's go to the baby dog camera. How's the baby dog doing? Is she sleeping? I think she's even sleeping. And you can see my little coach purse. I'm such a femmy girl. It's great. So I have the Satori cam. Satori cam. Every step of doing processes for my brain, it feels like it's going to explode. So I like to push myself to do these things because I want to expand my threshold of what is possible. So CPTSD is like simultaneously like I can do a lot of things and then I can't, you know? So that's probably why I don't apply to a lot of art shows, you know, is because they're difficult. But this was the most difficult one to do because, like, if you're the artist, you're doing everything yourself. You have to ensure your work, make sure, you know, all the pieces. I had to buy converters and just hope that, and yoga blocks. I had this last minute idea that I would stick yoga blocks in there because I was like, well, there, you have to provide everything in the box that goes in the gallery. So I'm like, how am I going to hold the projector onto? So I'm like, you can design it with these yoga blocks. And I think my idea was, it's like goddesses, housewives, and of course goddesses do yoga because yoga is from India and is originated from the goddess. But I wanted to show you, okay, let me switch to, at least you can see my work. So the Every Woman Biennial was invented in New York City, and it was like a mockery how masculine the Whitney Biennial was. So then the creator created the Whitney Houston Biennial to go with to be a critique of all of that. I mean, I think there's some really excellent work in this, and I just want to kickstart my career again, you know. I think that this is a really great, there's a lot of press opportunities. Like in my all or nothing mind, I wanted to take my service dog underneath my chair 15 hours round trip. It would cost $2,000 or $3,000 because we'd have to have a place to stay. It was all last minute. It's just not possible to do. I mean, considering that I'm a CPTSD mess, like, it was really difficult. I mean, and I've been thinking about, so that's why I had to put it aside, because it's a lot for me to figure out how to do things sometimes. Like how to get past the blocks. You know, I'm like, okay, well, I set it up so that I have to do a show. I have a deadline. I have to send in work. And then I'm like, oh, how am I going to send in work? Do I just send in digital files and then someone fucking takes care of it? And I'm like, no, you don't know that, you know? Like, who's going to professionally, where are they going to get the projector from? Like, if I was the gallery curator, I would want everybody's piece. You have to, if you're like Nam June Pak, you know, in the 70s, he provides all those TVs for the gallery to have in the installation. I believe that that is the artist's responsibility, but I've never gone that far to do. This is the first time I've actually ever, like, if I'm to do an international art exhibition, I've actually flown on a plane and gone there, which is what I was trying to do in London, because I was like, well, that's the only way to make sure that I get there is if the work comes in my carry-on, right? That's the way that I've done it before. Or I've made work on the ground at the Kinko's, like I did in Mexico City for the Olympics. So I have had some international art exhibition opportunities, but never had to ship. Like I immediately, like 1 week of thinking about it and head exploding and just overwhelm anxiety. Then I gave up on actually going to London with my dog, and then I started to figure out how to get my work to go in a box to London to get, who's awake? Who's awake? Who's getting up? It said Tony getting up. What's she gonna do? She can change positions. Did she bury some bone? Oh, she's changing positions. Nice, so you can see her at a different angle. Yeah, it won't let me change the window capture. Interesting. I'm not able to, let me see. Okay, well, if you're on my Patreon, I've included all the works on this post, so I don't have to do anything more technical with this vlog anymore, because I'm technicaled out and I'm tired, and I just even like I kind of have adult ADHD as well, so in that part of my brain I'm like, oh, I better make a Patreon fucking post so that I can get patrons to help me pay for shipping costs, because to make the work, to do the shipping, to enclose return shipping, to buy the little DVD, all the parts I bought, to create the installation, I just shelled out $400 out of pocket that I didn't really have. So I'm asking for that through Cash App, or new patrons to pay over time. But there's lots of good work that's coming out of me soon, so you can get the Shufu series. Like, I'm gonna sell, they come in aprons, they have oven mitts, like real domestic housewifey type of stuff, like kitschy stuff. So join my Patreon or hashtag me, the goddess Mariko, or if you want to know more about my sex work legacy, that's all in onlyfans.com/MarikoPassion. I have lots of different ways and means of expression over the last 20 years, and I hope that you will support my wonderful new work. If you want to see the actual pieces, go to my Patreon and you can subscribe, and that's more of a fine art, performance art blog. Lots of outlets.